Shalom. Kol halalimla abanawa Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakaha Korash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone, and a strong, hearty shalom to the prophets of that body, and shalom to the 144,000 and one third. All right, may peace and blessings be upon you and your households. We're going home soon. Things are happening, right? We've already seen what's happening around the world. Numerous countries are a few steps ahead when it comes to this digital aspect. Well, the whole word is digital, but we're talking about digital ID, the prelude to the charagma, which is the RF to the I to the D to the CHIP, Revelation 13:16. Because this form of currency that we're using, if you can see, in small increments, they've been phasing it out since the 1.9 situation, which happened a few years ago, right? Weren't they getting rid of large denominations of money, of notes, different parts of the world, right? When they're getting rid of a whole bunch of change, nickels or coins or whatever, right here in the UK, in America, and other parts of the world, saying that it was tainted. You catch a disease from it. So slowly but surely, they've been taking little bits and bobs, from your world that you're used to. So slowly you get used to, using everything as a touch, like doot, 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 and you get used to having less wads of notes and less change jingling in your pockets. Come to movies like Back to the Future 2. What is the future? What's the fashion when Dr. Emmett Brown says to Marty McFly, oh, in the future, it's obviously they put a comedic element to it, but which they show Marty McFly's son with no with his pockets turned inside out, right? Which means no change, no money. So it's going to be, because I believe they were paying by thumbprints in the movie, in certain parts of in certain points of the movie, right? So we can see a lot of other countries that are a few steps ahead as well, like Sweden. They're already getting charagma'd up. Charagma, the Greek word for the word mark in Revelation 13:16, meaning incision, etching into the flesh, right? And we can see the fact that various countries. You got the UK where I reside. Keir Starmer saying what he's got to say. All right, if you don't take if you don't have digital ID, you could be fined. You could be possibly allegedly fined, or you could be possibly what's the word? You'll be like the stepchild, so to speak. You'll be like kept outside of the door. You'll be ousted from society. You know what I mean? You won't be able to work. You won't be able to maneuver legally. You'll be like, you'll have the world that will be CHIP'd, or sorry, you'll be using the digital ID, a prelude to the CHIP. They'll be moving overground, and you as a person trying to survive will be moving underground, right? Like that movie with Sylvester Stallone, the one with Wesley Snipes. I forgot what it's called. It's not Universal Soldier. It's the one with where he's in the cryogenic program. You Jakes know what I'm talking about, where he was frozen for numerous years. Yeah, like that movie. Movies like Total Recall, the one of the Arnold Schwarzenegger. You got the underground world, you got the overground world, right? That's what they're trying to push. And so many countries are on the same wavelength. They're coming in the same picture, right? And now we know what's happening in other parts of the world, and India's already got digital ID, and it's mandatory over there, and they've been, utilizing it for the last 15 years, right? America, other parts of the world have been bringing small increments of digital ID, but just last night, I found this news segment from 6 days ago, right? And I just checked it out online. Which states in America, okay? Because remember, the UK, we know what's happening in the UK where I reside. And UK and America are brother and sister. We know what's happening in Sweden, Europe, and other parts of the world. They're pretty much in the same sort of, in the same sort of same vibration, Australia and all that. All right. But now let's go to America, because it's such a huge landmass. All right. States, look, several US states have launched or are developing. They have launched or are developing. So some have launched it, all right, because America is such a huge landmass, right? And some are still developing it, right? Because they're probably looking at, can't Kalali Habashim Yashai, 1144. Several US states have launched or are developing digital IDs, with some supporting them in mobile wallets like Apple Wallet, Google Wallet, and Samsung Wallet, while others use their own specific apps like, states like Arizona, Colorado, Georgia, Maryland, and Iowa, right, are among those with a digital ID system, and states like Arkansas, Illinois, and Montana have recently implemented or passed laws for digital IDs. So everyone is like in a race for this digital ID. It's like certain countries are ahead, certain states are ahead, some are a little tad behind, but they all want to come to that mutual consensus of everybody being under complete lockdown under the NWO, right? Which is what they want, because these crackers, these Edomites, these heathens, these powers that be, these so-called elite families, right, want to be like the Most High, right? States with existing digital ID programs. Here we go: Arizona, California, Colorado. Look at that. Check that out, right? Okay, states with recent or upcoming digital ID programs. Okay, so they're still developing. Arkansas, Illinois, Montana, North Carolina, Texas. Texas is like another country on its own, damn near. You can fit the UK, right? Which Keir Starmer is doing his thing, right, with the digital ID, right? You can put the UK into Texas 5 times. That's a damn. Texas is it's like shit, a good portion of Europe itself, size wise. All right, where digital IDs can be used: airport security checkpoints, okay, DMV, which I believe is the driver motor vehicle, other services. A growing number of new use cases are becoming available, such as age and identity verification with companies like Amazon, CVS Health, and Uber. All right, they're not going to say, "Oh, it's going to be in your hand," yet, but they're trying to collate everything together, put it all together. Then they want to encapsulate it all in one rice grain. Okay, so they're going to make it even more seamless, pull out more advantages, more pros instead of cons when taking the CHIP when things go down. When that economy crashes, there'll be new segments playing very soon saying, "Oh yeah, the pound is no more, the dollar is no more, the Australian dollar is no more, whatever. So and so has happened. Uh, the government is coming together, whatever they'll say at the time, coming together to launch a new world economy or new world monetary system or whatever, and everyone will be shook. But we'll see how Yahal Bashim will play it out. But these are the things that we're thinking along, because Esau can do anything: problem, reaction, solution, Hegelian dialectic, right? Okay, they might even have new segments where a whole bunch of children are kidnapped from Edomite areas. Real cute AI-based children they probably have. This devil is a trickster. All right, it might be real children combined with AI children, really cute, really good-looking children, cute, chubby cheeks and all that, of all different nations, right, being kidnapped. They might even do that, and that will sort of give an element of to keep their children safe. They might say, okay, yeah, CHIP then. Those that are lonely, right? Well, they don't have a wife or a husband, and they got a dog or a cat. That's their only companion. The government say, okay, if you are a dog or a cat, you got to have a CHIP that's similar to your dogs and cats CHIP. Okay, so we know who the owner of that animal is. So a lot of people that are lonely with animals might say, okay, yeah, I'll take the CHIP as well. Okay, they're just giving you the little sort of things, so you can bypass security checks, because security checks are a pain in the backside. Those of you that have gone abroad, right? Okay, when you got to renew your driving license, that's a pain in the backside. In the UK, if you're under 70, I believe you do it every 10 years, right? It's a pain in the backside, because you know how it is. There's a lot of red tape, a lot of fucking queuing up. It pisses you off, right? So a lot of people that are still invested in this world on a heavy basis will, will be bitch talked. When I mean bitch talked, they'll be sweet talked. The way a man sweet talks a woman to get into her drawers, the way this government is going to sweet talk the rest of you 2/3 and heathens to take your drawers off, man, and get penetrated with the CHIP when that time comes. All right, but at the moment, it's this digital aspect, this digital ID. All right, it's a prelude, okay, because your life is in your hands, right? All right, that mobile phone. Look out through your window, your bedroom window, your front room window, whatever. Watch the people walk by, of all ages, all going to be looking at their mobile phone, right? All looking at their mobile phone. Maybe unless it's a couple walking arm in arm on a first date, you know, lady, man with his woman or whatever. But for the most part, 98, 99% of the time, everyone's looking at their damn mobile phone, always looking down, always looking down, always looking down. All right, because the government don't want you to look up. They're trying to hide everything, right? Because we can see the chariots. Okay, let's go to the scripture. Then I'm going to play the new segment, right? Revelation 12 verse 12. Okay, as you can see, and also one more thing as well. November SNAP benefits, they're going to run out, or they may run out unless the shutdown ends. Okay, so indeed the clock is ticking. It says it in this little thumbnail here. The clock is ticking. Indeed, the clock is ticking. Right, and simultaneously, right, while these SNAP benefits could possibly run out in November, right, in America and in the UK, right, a lot of SNAP we don't have SNAP over here, but we got similar kinds of benefits. Okay, I chucked in a bunch. I asked a question about benefits being ending in December 2025. It says yes. Certain legacy UK benefits are being cut off as they are being replaced by universal credit. Okay, which means job seekers allowance. While you're looking for work, you get some kind of few quid thrown your way. Housing benefit, to pay for your rent, right, and things of that nature. Income support. Okay, now these are the benefits being phased out, and then they're being replaced with universal credit. Universal credit is like everything combined under one roof, right? The same thing, same kind of vibration of going to the digital wallet, then eventually the CHIP. All right. So, UK and America being brother and sister and all, okay, are sort of like part and parcel, moving on the same mutual. They're moving on a mutual consensus. All right. So these devils are going to do something. Plus, Revelation 12 verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. These crackers know they got a short time. All right, so they're coming down hard. SNAP benefits being cut off, and simultaneously, right, certain states are launching their digital IDs, right, as I'm speaking, and some have already brought it to a level where it's being introduced, okay, and where certain people are getting involved, and they're trying to make it the new normal, okay. Then they want to bring in the new normal, which will be the CHIP, right? But I'm looking at this new segment. Utah looks to launch a state-approved digital ID focused on privacy and security. This is from 6 days ago, so this is new, right? Let's see what it says here at the bottom. No to digital ID. Better get ready to stand up against this. No digital ID in Utah or the US. Not a chance in hell will I submit to digital ID. Just ask yourself, when has the government ever told you the truth? Ain't that the truth? Tyrants have always used safety to control us with their schemes. Oh God, no. I'm trying to add some humor to this. That's the stupidest thing I heard to say. This will make your privacy and security better. In fact, it'll make it more vulnerable. Of course it will, indeed. Isn't it? Is it all these cyber? What's it called? Cybersecurity. All these hackers and all that. And all these hacks constantly happening, right? Things were more secure back in the day. When people kept their money hidden in the house in a big ass safe, which probably weighed half a ton, buried deep in the ground, under literal lock and key. Things were more secure then, but now everything's in the atmosphere, in the cloud. So the cloud can be accessed, it can be slit and penetrate, so you can get the information. Like, absolutely no, I do not comply. I already been hacked in Europe and China. Nothing is safe. See. But they're pushing it as more security, more seamless, less stress. Okay, let's go to it's not too long anyway. 2 minutes, 8 seconds.
Could be coming to how you prove who you are. Utah State is considering rolling out a digital ID to help prove who you are in your online dealings. But with data breaches on the rise, Jim Spiewak asks if this can be a game changer for your online safety and security.
Everyone is born with identity. You control your identity. You should control your digital identity. Christopher Bramwell, Utah's chief privacy officer, is leading the state's effort to create a state-endorsed digital identity system, which would provide residents with a verified digital credential proving they are who they say they are. So someone being able to pretend that they're me probably wouldn't happen. The whole point of state-endorsed digital identity is to give you control of your identity so nobody can impersonate you. Bramwell sees initial uses for digital identity for things like going through TSA or verifying identity for government services. But he also says demand is growing in the private sector. Why wouldn't you just use an identity you control to log into services? And you don't have to worry about reset passwords. Bramwell says once you receive your credential, the state won't know when you use it and it won't be tracked, but it would be stored securely in something like a digital wallet. What do we tell people about why this will be secure? The security is our top priority, but most importantly,
We heard the key word, right? Digital wallet. The vibration is the same all around. Aren't there numerous news segments coming about the digital wallet? Certain countries are ahead. Certain countries it's mandatory. Certain countries are doing quite well with the digital wallet. It was helping every person in society, the rich and poor, the free and bond. Okay, it's helping every single person in society. Look at India, for example. There's a lot of rich and poor and free and bond there, right? Okay, so isn't that alluding straight to Revelation 13:16? But they're focusing on the digital wallet, which is a prelude to Revelation 13:16, which is a prelude to that charagma. All right, that CHIP, that penetration into the flesh.
How do you recover when there's a security breach without having to do reissuance of identity to everybody in the state?
And the cybersecurity hackers are all employed by the damn government anyway, by the elites of powers that be. All right, for the most part.
Utah lawmakers passed Senate Bill 260 this year, which laid the baseline policy that gives individuals the right to digital identity, but not a mandate to opt in. Senator
At the moment, okay, but they will, they're always going to say this, down the third, and they're going to, then they're actually going to go ahead. There ain't going to be no choice no more, right? And also, by the way, copyright fair use. Okay, just going along with the agenda of the news. I'm not saying nothing adverse to it. Just letting it play. Besides, I've got the right to critique anyway. So.
Kirk Cullimore was the bill's sponsor.
Everything is digital now. A lot of what we do, even in interacting with the state, is digital.
With AI advancing rapidly, Cullimore believes many technologies will soon require state endorsement. Do you feel confident that what is in policy right now, as we start to build this out, is the most safe and secure?
The laws and the parameters to establish its safety and the security and the principles of freedom surrounding that are getting put into place.
Jim Spiewak, KUTV 2 News.
That guy at the end with the dark hair, dyed his hair black with a white short trim beard or whatever. That guy looked scared when he was saying his piece. So the vibration is the same. Okay, we heard digital wallet mentioned again. Digital ID focused. All right, vibration is the same across the earth. Benefits being cut off. We're approaching the end of the year. Okay, which means they're planning something heavy. It's a combination of riots. It's a combination of theft, a combination of people deleting each other, and it's a combination of martial law troops being brought in when all these riots break out because people are frustrated with a lack of money, with no food. People are already saying they're crashing out. People are already telling on themselves, right? They're going to crash out. Okay, and along with that, at the same time, while these things are being put into play, they keep bringing out information on digital ID, digital wallet, state approved, country approved, or whatever, right? Different parts of the world, America, it's all coming together like a jigsaw puzzle, right? Like a picture, like a beautiful picture is being painted of the Edomite world being destroyed. Second Ezra 6:9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay, all right. So the temperature is the same all around. So we can see that something is coming on the horizon, right? Let's go to Revelation 12, verse 12, the NLT. This is Revelation 12, verse 12, NLT. Therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you who live in the heavens. Rejoice, but terror will come on the earth and the sea. For the devil has come down to you in great anger, knowing that he has little time. Therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you who live in the heavens. Rejoice, but terror will come down. But terror will come on the earth. But terror will come on the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you in great anger, knowing that he has little time. Okay, so we can see these things are coming up. All right, okay, they're coming. But at the same time, which is a beautiful thing, this is good news for the elect, the hopeful elect around the planet, right? And especially in ground zero, America, right? And the elect are not going to be affected. Remember, this charagma, the CHIP, when it is launched, is for the heathen and the 2/3, not for you elect members, you Israelites out there, no matter how you look. All right, because the Israelites, for the bulk, for the most part, are so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians. Latinos of Native Indian or Negro descent on their father's side. All right. Romans 8:16. Okay, the Spirit beareth witness. Your spirit will know. If you connect to this truth, you are a Jake. If you are adverse to it, you're either a 2/3 or a heathen. Okay? Okay, and at the same time, before I made a video, I looked at the verse of the day because I love checking that out. Psalms 4 and 5 popped up through the Spirit. Offer the sacrifices of righteousness and put your trust in the Lord. So this is a Brakti Habashimashai. Offer the sacrifices of righteousness and put your trust in the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yashai. That's Psalms 4 and 5, and that's today's verse of the day, Sunday, the 26th of October, right? Which means, listen, the elect are going to put their trust in the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yashai. And the elect have the name, and the elect call upon the name. Because there's only one name under heaven that we must be saved. That's Acts 4 and 12. Okay, only one name. Ain't no freaking Jebus and Yude Vade and all that other nonsense. Or Ahaya, Asha, Ahaya, or Yah. It's Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. You know, I add sometimes Abanawa to it, which means Father Yahweh. Okay, just adding a little extra respect to the Most High, man. And you can't go show, you know, we can't show, what's the word, man? You know, you try and show as much respect as possible, man, you know? So, you know, I just add Abanawa Yahweh to it, you know? All right? And at the same time, you know, the elect are going to be protected because we're going to put our trust in the Lord because that's a vibration. Okay, put your trust in the Lord. Okay, we're looking up. We're seeing that, you know, we see spiritual things daily. The Lord Yahweh Hashem Mashai is showing you spiritual numbers. All right, when you're feeling down, to keep you going, to give you that little extra carrot. You know, like a salesperson has a carrot. Okay, if you do X many sales in a month, you're going to get an extra few quid in your pay packet, as they say, right? Or you got a carrot because you're motivated. The Lord Yahweh Shemashai keeps us motivated. The elect are motivated. When you get some news that may shake you in your boots, yeah, because we are in these chains of darkness in the flesh, the Lord might, you know, throw you a 144, 1144, 1404, a 555, a 15555, a 444, 4441, you know, a 777, a 7077, you know, a 77, you know, a 7000077, you know, various numbers to give you hope and to keep you going. We see the chariots during the day, we see them at night. You know, we see other spiritual things going on as well. That gives us our boost. And we always look up. A hopeful elect member, when you step outside the house, obviously you pray before you step outside of the house, whether it's a long prayer or a quick prayer in your mind. You call upon Yahweh Shemashai for protection, right? As soon as you step outside the house, you look right and left. Then what do you do as well? You always look up. I always do, to see, man, see if, you know, the Lord will give me a sign. A chariot. You might see it whiz by. You might see it cloaked up, but still whiz by, you know? Because the elect are going to look up. Because our redemption draweth nigh. Luke 21 and 28. And when these things begin to come to pass, and then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. So the Lord is working, man. All right, the Lord is working. So something is definitely coming and brewing on the horizon. All right, and it's good for the elect but not so good for the world. All right? Because the elect are prepared. It's going to be scary for the elect too. Don't get it twisted, right? But the elect have, as they say, spiritual confidence in Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai. And also, we have read the, let's just say, we have read this spiritual instruction book, or the Lord has given us the spiritual instructions of what's coming. Let's just say it that way. You know, the way somebody would warm up before the exercise, the Lord is warming us up before this real spiritual exercise begins. These hurdles that we have to jump and overcome. I'll say it that way, you know, of what's to come. And as old Apostle Tahar would say, the major prophecy, you know, before, you know, things really kick off, and even before World War III kicks in, which is Revelation 11:14, is this CHIP thing. And we can see that brewing on the horizon, and all these different new segments which are coming up from around the world, along with the SNAP benefits being may not reignite ever again. You know, might not, you know, it might be shut down forever. You know, or if they reopen the government, it might come back on. We don't know. So digital pushed, no benefits, being pushed into a corner. Okay, same consensus is in America, Europe, or UK. So what do you think that's going to do when people are pushed into a corner? No food, no shelter, no money coming in. They're going to take the CHIP, all right? Okay, so they're pushing the digital aspect. Everything goes digital, you know, the digital ID. People get used to that, then they might crash the economy, right? Because people are already used to free money as it is. Then they'll have to say, oh yeah, you got to take the CHIP. It's even more secure. Okay, we don't know how the Lord will do it, but the Lord will do it, right? So we can see that all things are coming to an end, man. All right, let's get one more scripture, man. Better is the end of a thing, King James Version. Ecclesiastes 7:8. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Okay, so Barak Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai, man. We're at the tail of this kingdom, or this weird, wacky, faggot kingdom. We're at the end of it. Feel a sigh of relief that we don't have to go through no more heathen rulerships ever again after this one. This is that last leg of the race, as they say. You know, this is that last assault course you have to go through. All right. Come back in a minute. It's that last leg of the race you have to go through. All right. So I'm going to leave it there. All praises to Yahweh, B'Hashem, Yahushai, B'Hashem Rakah Kodash. Shalom.